As the spoiled, impudent writers continue to strike, asking for unreasonable demands, we are given so much good news, from TV show cancellations to, frankly, some golden videos on the internet.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Somehow now we are getting the best news of all. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and Mindy Kaling and Jar Jar Abrams are at least currently out of a job for the foreseeable future with HBO Max. Let's get into this article, shall we? Warner Brothers suspends deals with Mindy Kaling, Jar Jar Abrams, and other top creators. The Writers Guild of America strike is entering its 5th month with no end in sight. And I mean, do we really need to see an end? How many of you individuals are missing anything on television, whether it be streaming, regular TV, what have you, when you have hours upon hours of video game content and YouTube content that you can consume to your heart's content? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not missing out on anything by not covering certain shows. My Ahsoka views are just in the toilet because nobody cares about Ahsoka. Yeah, we had One Piece, and that did, frankly, incredible, but that's been probably the only good piece of content to come out since this writer's strike has started when it comes to television shows and movies. I mean, okay, I guess we had, like, Oppenheimer as well. I'll give you Oppenheimer, but beyond that, what has there been worth writing home about? Nothing. We're not missing anything by not having these writers doing their job, which is writing poorly. Warner Brothers Discovery on Wednesday, on Wednesday, there's another show that I wonder if it's been canceled, or I guess maybe not canceled, it's way too popular to get canceled, but postponed. Not that it has anything to do with Wednesday, they're talking about the day of the week, but it just got me thinking, how many people are just clamoring for Season 2 of Wednesday, which granted, Season 1 was pretty alright as far as Netflix stuff goes, but I wonder if Season 2 has seen any sort of massive delay. One of the actors did get written off of the show due to a sexual assault allegation, but that's an article for another time. Warner Bros. Discovery on Wednesday suspended deals with some of the most high-profile writers in the television industry, including Mindy Kaling, Lost co-creator J.J. Abrams, and Ted Lasso co-creator Bill Lawrence, a studio source said. Now, I'm not familiar with Bill Lawrence. I didn't watch Ted Lasso, but I do live on Twitter, and I have seen a lot of individuals talking about how garbage the show has become, which, hey, what have I been saying for years now? Writing in modern-day television is just getting worse and worse. Maybe Ted Lasso can be saved if they just let the AI write for it. The Writers Guild of America strike is entering its 5th month with no end in sight. Hollywood scribes and major studios, such as Warner Bros., are locked in a battle over wages and other issues, including protections against the use of artificial intelligence. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I mean, I know I've said it before, but it bears saying again. AI is a tool. I'm fine with it. No different than the printing press, no different than the computer, no different than anything that has made our lives easier. If it can be used right, then I'm all for it. At the end of the day, at least as AI currently stands, no artificial intelligence is going to be able to write a perfect script without any sort of human intervention. If using AI, just one AI bot can get rid of 6 of the 8 writers needed to write a TV show, and those 2 other writers can touch up a script, do a better job, give us something that is actually watchable, unlike what's being put forth by, humans nowadays, because I refuse to believe that these individuals are actually human, then I think that's a win-win. The consumer, the paying customer, the people that matter, get a better quality product, and the studio saves money because it's not paying a bunch of incompetent monkeys to do a job. Monkeys and typewriters will eventually give us Shakespeare. I think an AI will give us that far sooner. Warner Bros. Is halting payments to A-list writers. Oh, okay, well, hold on now. If Mindy Kaling and Jar Jar Abrams are your A-list writers, I terrified to see what your B team looks like for the duration of the strike. People briefed on the matter told the New York Times. NBC News has not independently verified that information. Okay, so you're writing this article and you've not verified it. You're just, let's just roll with it. Let's just put it out there. This is the problem with news and media outlets. Like, I strive to give you guys, as faithful and honest nerdy news coverage as I can. But then you got people out here that are so quick to want to write this story so they can get people to click on it and make that little bit of AdSense, that bit of ad revenue. They will just throw out stuff that is not verified. So obviously going forward, take this information with a grain of salt. I do hope it's true because my God, would I love to see Mindy Kaling and Jar Jar Abrams out of a job, at least for a while. But yes, apparently this has not been independently verified. Kaling, a comedian, they're using that word pretty liberally here. She's as much of a comedian as like a stale sponge caked with goodies from the last time you did the dishes. That's as much of a comedian as Mindy Kaling. An actor best known for her role in NBC's The Office, co-created the comedy series The Sex Lives of College Girls and the animated series Velma, 2 shows that are distributed on Max, Warner Bros. Discovery's marquee platform. And that's the greatest part about this. As it currently stands, Velma is in limbo, and it cannot tarnish our households and brain dead dead our own gray matter any further, not until these strikes are resolved. I mean, the fact that Velma is not continuing is reason enough for us to want these strikes to go on for a sideways 8, for an eternity, for an infinity. Like, can you imagine the rest of the world going forward without the animated Velma series? It's pretty good, right? I mean, ICE is still out there causing a whole lot of ruckus in the Middle East, but no Velma. I think that's a fair trade-off. Abrams co-created the Max crime thriller Duster, which I've never even heard of, but to be fair, have we heard of anything that he's done post, Star Wars work, which was still in production when the strikes effectively shut down the industry. Lawrence shows Ted Lasso and Shrinking, which stream on Apple TV Plus, are both co-produced by Warner Bros. Television. The film and television industry's writers have been on strike since early May. The industry's actors, largely represented by the SAG-AFTRA, joined writers on the picket lines in July, going to show once again that actors cannot do anything original. They are, most actors, no offense to Coach MC, I still love you, bro, most actors can't do anything original, don't have their own thoughts. That's why they follow what others do. They follow what directors tell them. They follow what a script tells them. These actors, they can't get out there and have their own thoughts. That's why they have to join a writer's strike afterwards, because it's what they're being told to do. They're only good at following orders. Actors are like people in the military, except for they actually don't offer anything of value, because these people in the military defend our homeland. The first time both unions have been on strike simultaneously in 63 years. The leaders of both unions argue the rise of streaming has economically disadvantaged their members. No. I mean, don't get me wrong, streaming has become a bit of a problem, given how we used to just have, Netflix, Hulu, and maybe Amazon, those are the big three, and now everyone and their grandmother has their own streaming service. Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. That's why people are going back to piracy, but maybe, I'm just spitballing here, maybe it wouldn't be much of an issue if the shows they were putting out, if the content that was hitting these streaming platforms was worth paying for. Representatives for the WGA, SAG-AFTRA, and Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers did not immediately respond to requests for comment Thursday. Neither did representatives for Kaling, Abrams, and Lawrence. Oh, I hope to God Mindy Kaling is just sitting there in her multi-million-dollar mansion worrying to death that she's going to have to sell it soon, crying into her several thousand-count Egyptian cotton sheets. No, I'm going to have to sell my mansion because I can't make Velma Season 2. Warner Bros. Discovery said in the Securities and Exchange Commission filing this week that it assumes that it will be negatively impacted by the dual strikes to the tune of up to $500 million. You think, Warner Bros. Is out here, we don't have writers or actors right now. That's probably going to negatively impact us. Yeah, you're a streaming service, you put out TV shows, both of which require, writers and actors. It probably will negatively impact you, but the question is, will it negatively impact you enough to, in the same amount that not getting new customers or having customers cancel because your product is bad? Now, granted, I actually think Max is the only streaming service out there worth the money. I think that HBO Max has the best quality content of any streaming service. That being said, when you look at Disney is actually netting money based on these strikes because they don't have to pay near as much. They were already losing so much money, $900 million in the last year on movies alone. I don't remember what the exact math was, but I broke it down on Saturday Night Hypnosis a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple months ago at this point. Disney is only losing about, I think the number was $250 million a year, something on these strikes, whereas it lost over $900 million putting out content. So they're actually netting money with this strike. So there are probably some other companies that are actually losing less. I bet Netflix is also losing less money with the strikes. Also, you've got these streaming services like what Netflix is doing, what Amazon, I believe, is also doing. They can go outside of the U.S. and just get foreign shows. Go all over Twitter. I say all the time, Twitter's not real life, but all I'm saying is people on Twitter, they really do tend to talk about their K-dramas, so it wouldn't surprise me if Netflix and these other companies, that aren't Disney or that aren't Max, just sort of outsource and get their programming from other countries, since America is finally cool with watching stuff with subtitles. Warner Bros. Discovery is hopeful these strikes will be resolved soon, the company said in the filing, but it cannot predict when the strikes will ultimately end. The company now assumes the financial impact to WBD of these strikes will persist through the end of 2023. Warner Bros. Discovery portfolio includes the Warner Bros. Pictures Movie Studio, the Max streaming service, and cable channels such as CNN, TV. Wow, Warner Bros. Owns CNN? I had no idea. That's funny. TBS, TNT, and Turner Classic Movies. Actually, I didn't know that Warner Bros. Owned any of these except for TNT and Turner Classic. Okay, any of these two. I only knew about TNT and Turner Classic Movies, but I didn't even know TBS was still a thing. Isn't that what people do to go watch reruns of the Bill Engvall show and According to Jim? This is a channel for 66-year-olds and up. So yes, there's your daily dose of good news. Velma Season 2, for the most part, is effectively canceled. And I truly love that we live in a timeline where that is the case. I mean, yeah, World War III is on the horizon. Like, it's entirely possible that we're just going to go full frontal assault on Russia and they're going to attack us, and then China's going to get involved with Taiwan, and it could end in one fiery, blasphemic explosion. But up to that point, we're living life without Velma Season 2, and I think that's worth it. But that was just my opinion. Just let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can... I did it right on my first try that time. Let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I do nerdy news videos almost every day. And when I don't do them, I stream on Mondays with the show The Countercast. You should check that out. I always have incredible guests lined up for that show. And yes, today is one of those days. You will be getting 2 videos. So check me back at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for video numero dos coming out. And until then, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.